Hello there. Welcome back to Tales from Tosche Station. Hey guys, have you missed me? Cause I sure have missed you guys. I am sorry for being away for almost like 4 months at this point. I am very sorry. I've been doing a little bit of stuff. Life's been lifing. For those of you that follow my personal Instagram page, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been prepping for something, and that just ended. So, yeah, I unintentionally put this show and you guys on the back burner, and I will not be taking that long of a hiatus ever again. But that is not why we are here. Why we are here is to talk about some recent Star Wars news, mainly Starfighter, Ryan Gosling, Amy Adams rumor she might be playing somebody, and well, the biggest fire that's going on right now in the Star Wars community, the hunt for Ben Solo, and why Disney is out of touch with the Star Wars community. I might have just kicked off a powder keg. So before we get into anything else, hey Chewie, do me a favor, punch this thing. Let's get into it. All right, so order of business today on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Starfighter news, the hunt for Ben Solo. Might talk about the Mandalorian trailer, and yeah, just my general thoughts on how Disney does not know what they're doing when it comes to Star Wars stories, as far as as far as movies go. The animation side and the Disney Plus side, they seem to be doing well with, but larger releases, largely hit and miss. So I've already kicked this powder keg to the ground. Let's go ahead and line a match, shall we? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the thumbnail of this video, the title of this video. Mara Jade's on the front of it with a little image of Amy Adams to the bottom right of it. Reason I did that is because a couple of weeks ago, there's a rumor going around that uh, she might be playing Mara Jade in either Starfighter or The Mandalorian. And if she's playing if she's playing Mara Jade, that would go against any established canon that we know of. Because honestly speaking, Mara Jade doesn't exist in this universe, as far as we know. And they've Disney has combed the entirety of the timeline from the prequels all the way to 30, 40 years after that with the sequels. And there's not been a hint or inkling that Mara Jade exists. Why? Because, well, Luke doesn't have any kids. And for those of you that do not know, Luke and Mara have a son in the Legends continuity, and on top of that, she gets killed. And I think that they could still do that in established canon However, it would take a little bit of finagling to be able to do so. It would make a lot of sense that she would have been there the night that Ben murdered everybody at at Luke's Jedi Temple, and then left with the Knights of Ren, or those that would become the Knights of Ren. And I personally think that would make sense, especially for Luke's character, as okay, his wife and his son both get killed by Ben, and that's what drives him into being a hermit. That would make sense for his character to where he just kind of gives up, because that's where we see him in The Last Jedi. He's kind of a shell of himself, and is reluctant to train Rey. We see that. And if they do somehow figure out a way to bring in Mara Jade in live action, as much as me and everybody else would love to see that, I just think it would break a little bit of the established canon that we have, and they would have to figure a few things out. I mean, we might be able to see some rumblings of her in Ahsoka season 2 that could then set up her showing up in the Mandalorian movie. But we'll see. Like I said, I think it would be cool if she did show up, but there would have to be a lot of conveniences to where she's been this entire time up until this point when Thrawn comes back into the universe. Because of those of you that have read the original Thrawn books, that's where she gets introduced, and she is a heavy, heavy, heavy part of those books. And given what Dave Filoni's trying to do, I can see her showing up, or at least being mentioned in the Ahsoka show, or like a passing line of like an assassin's um, taking out different rebel cells, or something like that. Which brings me to my next point. Starfighter and Ryan Gosling. From what I've seen there, is the rumor that I've seen, I believe I saw this on Collider, is that he's playing Cade Skywalker. And for those of you that do not know who Cade Skywalker is, he is Luke's great grandson, I believe, or great great grandson, one of those two. And he's the last lineage of the Skywalker line, and he doesn't want to be force sensitive. He doesn't want to be a Jedi. I mean, Luke's Force Ghost visits him a few different times, tries to get him to start training, and Cade basically tells him to go away, for lack of more colorful language there. And Cade Skywalker he's more of like a Han Solo-esque character than more of a Skywalker character, if that makes sense. And that means that this Starfighter movie is taking place like 100 years or more from the established time period that we know inside of inside canon, which I think would be a nice touch, but I don't know if Disney's doing that per se. Honestly, I've kind of lost faith in their ability to be able to tell a cohesive Star Wars story that isn't on Disney Plus. It's just my opinion. Um, but I am interested to see what they do with this Starfighter movie. I am interested to see what Ryan Gosling does because Ryan Gosling is a very talented actor and he's very good at what he does. And I wouldn't mind seeing a dogfight movie in space. That's basically what it's probably going to be. Um, Now there could be an argument. He could be Ryan Gosling's character could be Kyle. I just thought of that. Um, he would be the right age, but again, going back to the Mara Jade of it all, to bring in fan favorite Legends characters conveniently, I just don't think would make a lot of sense. So we'll see about that. And now the powderiest of powder kegs, the thing that Star Wars fans have been up in arms about for weeks at this point. The thing that Star Wars fans have been up in arms about for weeks at this point is the hunt for Ben Solo, or in this case, the lack thereof. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Disney, you guys kind of messed up on this one. When you've got Adam Driver on record saying this is probably one of the best scripts I've ever read, and it got all the way up to the tippity top of Disney, and they literally just said, how is your character alive?" And that was that. I mean, given all the goofy force powers that we have in uh, the sequel trilogy, him being able to bring himself back to life is the one you guys get caught up on. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I think this movie would have done really well as a redemptive arc for Ben Solo the character, just from everything that he does in the sequel trilogy, um, to where he started to him getting redeemed into back into Ben Solo at the end of Rise of Skywalker. And something else that they could have done is they could have merged the timelines with the hunt for Ben Solo going into the Rey movie, where Rey finds out that Ben has been still alive, and they reunite. Because what I was originally thinking for Rise of Skywalker, the way that I thought that movie was gonna go was in The Last Jedi, they built up this force connection between the two of them, and that they were somehow connected, so on and so forth. And then we find out in the next movie that they are a dyad. They are connected in the force. Um, they're essentially two sides of the same coin. And the way that I thought that was going to happen was they were going to defeat the Emperor, and they were going to rebuild the Jedi Order together. And we were going to find out that Rey was pregnant with Ben's kid, furthering the Skywalker Solo lineage. That's how I thought that movie was going to end, and that's not how it ended. Um, my views on that movie have changed thanks to my buddy Mortis FM Grayson. You have changed my mind on that movie and how I look at Rey as a Skywalker. I do think that she is a Skywalker. Uh, she takes up the name. She realizes that the name has more weight than her blood does. And I think if they would have made it to where both of those movies, the Hunt for Ben Solo and the Rey movie, one leads into the other, where the Hunt for Ben Solo movie leads into him finding Rey's Jedi Academy. I think that would have I think that would have played well. And I really do hope that the groundswell of support that this movie has seen over the last couple of weeks, I hope that gets Disney's attention because I think that Disney is just kind of starved for good Star Wars ideas, and that would have been one of them. And there's plenty of stories that they can tell, uh, taking from legends, and I mean even eventually bringing in Cal Kestis's character. Whenever that trilogy of games is done, uh, so I think that Disney needs to figure out what they're doing with the Star Wars franchise as far as wide release movies go, because they seem to have gotten a formula down for the Disney Plus shows. Um, Star Wars animation is going gangbusters right now with Vision season 3 just just started, and Andor just wrapped up, and then you've also got Maul Shadow Lord coming down the pipe. So the Disney Plus side of things is alive and well. I don't think they've got an issue with that, mainly because I think that's mostly Dave and John's playhouse. But as far as the movies go, there's a lot less cohesion and understanding of what fans really want to see. And I- I'm thinking this campaign to get the Hunt for Ben Solo greenlit, I think that's going to do something, or at least that I hope it does. Um, so yeah, I just to close, I think Mara Jade's not gonna be in canon. I don't think Ryan Gosling is playing Kate Skywalker, and I think Disney made a giant mistake not greenlighting the Ben Solo movie. Um, so I just really think they need to figure out a cohesive plan on what to do moving forward with their theatrical releases. I mean, they've got Mando and Grogu coming up soon, and all of this is overshadowing that hype. And I think that's really doing that movie a disservice with all the things that are happening in that movie. We're getting Zeb, we're getting Mando, Grogu. Uh, we know very little about the movie right now, but I really think that's going to reinvigorate the fans and really bring people back into it. And I'm hoping we get some fan service moments, but not too many. Uh, I'm expecting to see Luke again. Um, we might see we might see Ezra, we might see Hera. I don't know, um, but we'll see. So yeah, that's really all I've got as far as Star Wars news. I will tell you guys though, next week's video. I thought about this today. Actually, it's going to be kind of a what if scenario, but also just kind of my thoughts on the situation. What happens to Cody after he deserts the Empire? Because as far as we know, that is the last time in canon that we see him is when he is talking to Crosshair, and then he disappears. So yeah, I figured why not delve into that a little bit and see what I think might happen there. So until next week, guys, may the force be with you.